All right, so Innistrad Remastered is out, and this is an exciting set. Here's the thing, though. There is no pre-release necessary for it, but a lot of times there's going to be draft for it. So welcome to MTG Tuesdays Tips and Tricks. And today we're going to talk about drafting and how to draft, how to be better at drafting, how to understand drafting, and things like that. And so drafting is very, very important. It is a fun part of Magic the Gathering. It is probably one of the higher skill levels of Magic the Gathering. This takes a lot of skills, so because you have to understand the cards. So let me just get on there. I am definitely not a great drafter. I am learning still. I'm still trying to get better at it. Hopefully this year I'll have more opportunities to draft again and again and again and again and get better at it. I've done a lot of online drafts, but in-person drafts is not as easy to come by, but it's still a lot of fun. And so hopefully as this year goes, I will continue. This is things I have learned over my journey from when I first started drafting to now, how to draft, what to draft. Again, if you play on Arena is a completely different type of drafting. That being said, though, drafting is fun. And basically what happens with draft is typically you sit at a table with 8 other people and each of them have 3 packs and you pass them around. Every person gets 1 pick from a pack, passes it, I believe to start with it goes left, then it goes right, and then it goes left. I mean, I could be wrong, or it goes right, left, I don't remember. There's a set order you do it in for the 3 different packs. So everyone picks 1 card from it. And there are different things you want in each set. So, and hopefully I will do an overview of draft for Innistrad Remastered, but I recommend going and looking at draft guides. What that means is people make draft guides telling you what cards are good, what cards to avoid, what are the different mechanics in the set you want to mesh together, what color pairs you're looking to try to be in, and stuff like that. Because basically as you draft, when you first start out, your first pack, you're kind of trying to figure out, okay, where am I going, what colors? Typically you want to draft 2 colors, sometimes 3, depending on, again, the set, but 2 colors or so. You want to say about 2 colors. And you got to try to figure out, okay, what colors are available, what's out there, what's good, what's bad. Every set is different too. So like Innistrad Remastered is completely different because there's a lot of strong, super powerful cards in the deck because it's a remastered reprint set. Whereas like Aether Drift, a lot of the mechanics work together. So you want to like kind of look at that and look at a draft guide to give you kind of like, okay, what are you looking for? And as you get these colors, what kind of cards you're looking to get and add. And again, it's going to also tell you what cards are strong, what cards to avoid. Because in every pack, there's rares and mythics. Now, sometimes those rares and mythics aren't as good in draft and building a draft deck as some commons or uncommons. They could even be better because of their power. Like there are some, so let's be honest, in Innistrad Remastered, if we're talking about Innistrad Remastered that's coming out, Edgar Markov, as great of a card it is, and I'd probably, when I was drafting, take it just because of how good the card is in general, because I'd want the card. In draft, it's not actually good because it's not Commander. We're playing, you're building a 40-card deck, and likely he may not get cast because it's 6 mana to get him out. So, and unless you're in 3-color vampires, it may be difficult to get him to make him really good. So, but whereas there might be like a good removal, that's like 1 or 2 mana. That's like you get removal is very, very important. Removal, being able to stop things your opponents do is very important in draft. So keep that in mind when drafting. Make sure to read the different guides and the different sets. And as you draft, you're going to have more than 40 cards, but you're going to have 40 cards typically between, I think it's like 15 and 17 lands and then 23 actual cards in the deck, roughly, depending on, again, that land to whatever ratio, depending on how you're building and different stuff like that. And so keep that in mind when you're drafting. Not every card you're going to draft will you play, because you may start out with one thing and then all of a sudden, like when you first draft it out, maybe you got some really good red cards, but all of a sudden, like red just dries up. Someone else is taking red before you, or there's just not as many red cards in the packs you're opening. And so you got to kind of pay attention to, okay, what's going around? Where do you see a lot of colors? What's available? What are people taking? But also don't lock yourself in too early. So like, it's very easy to just go ahead and you draft something really good. So a strong vampire, like, oh, I'm stuck on vampires, so I'm only going to do vampires. Well, the problem with that is if someone else is trying to do vampires or multiple different vampires, you may not be able to get enough vampires to make it viable. So you don't want to be stuck on that. Or like so in the set, there's Spell Queller, which is a good card if you're able to get enough spirit, and then there's Mausoleum and there's several spirits. Like you can build a spirit like deck, but you got to be careful not to lock yourself in too early to specific things. Remember, it is fun, you know, so like sometimes there are rares and stuff like that that get passed around that may not be as good. So like a card like Mass Hysteria is not good in draft because you don't want your opponent to have haste just like you have haste and be able to just be like, oh yeah, everyone has haste, good job. This is a 1v1, so if you've never drafted before and you've used to Commander with you're playing 1v1, 20 life, and first person to basically knock that person down is a round of 3. Typically best of 3, so you play whoever wins 2 games, 2 matches, wins the round and everything like that. So you can do a little bit of sideboarding sometimes. Like there is a sideboard. All your stuff you drafted is your sideboard, so you can add in and out depending. You can adjust in between rounds and stuff like that as well. Your deck, you may think, this is good, or maybe you had where you thought 3 colors was good, but it wasn't good. So there's just a lot to learn. I'm still personally learning. Typically try to stick into 2 colors. Every now and then, if there are ways where there are multiple color like triomes and lands that can help you get to the 3 colors, or there are mana assistant things, so like mana dorks, mana rocks, that can help you get into 3 colors, or ways to go find other like evolving wilds and stuff like that. Getting into 3 colors is not as as bad, but in certain things there's just no reason to be in a 3rd color. Unless like there's a bomb card. So in sets there are always going to be bombs. So those are the cards that like are going to be the best card you could ever pull for the set, and it's going to change how it goes. And if you get a bomb, sometimes you splash a color just to be able to play it. If you get a bomb, you want to try to build and play around that bomb. That's why I recommend go reading those deck guides. Go read the guides. Every single set will give you a guide. Hopefully in the near future, as I get good enough, I can be able to put some basic guides out to help you understand how to draft. I will hopefully be able to do my goal is for Innistrad Remaster to do a quick overview of drafting and what cards to draft. Hopefully this Friday, I'll be drafting myself. But how to get better at draft, you got to just keep drafting. You go and you play, you draft. And there are ways to draft too, just your buddies. So like you could get like, sometimes people have like cubes, have the same amount of stuff in it, but you could draft and learn how to pick cards and what to pick, and then every set is different. So you want to read about that set, learn what cards are good, what cards are bad, what cards are okay, what cards maybe you shouldn't take, how to know what to build and stuff like that. And I just recommend, you know, as you draft, just play it, have fun with it, enjoy it. Yes, go get those. If you pull a card that is a very nice, you know, good card that's really, really strong, or you want yourself, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking it. Just also know though that like, that's one less card that's going to be in your deck. So if you're taking it over something else, understand that. But, you know, also have fun with it and enjoy it. Make it valuable, make it fun for you and everything. And to sit down with get those friends. You don't have to have 8 people. 8 people is the max you want to do in a single draft because you've got enough packs to do it that way. But and how the cards work out and everything like that. But you could do it with fewer people, it's just not as good, and more people can have stronger and stronger decks and stuff like that. And so just keep that in mind, and everything. Typically 8 is your magic number for draft. And so hopefully that helps you. And then in the near future, we'll talk about some other things as well, but hopefully the tips and tricks of draft, have fun, keep doing it, read the guides, learn your archetypes, learn like what color pairs are good, learn what cards are decent, and always remember removal. You can never go wrong with enough removal, because if you keep their stuff off the board, you'll eventually be able to put your stuff on the board and hopefully win the game. Or they'll just be like, how do you have so much removal? When you don't have removal, it gets scary. Trust me, I played plenty of decks and drafts and stuff like that where there was no removal available. I picked like 1 or 2 pieces, and that's all I saw the rest of the game or the draft. So that can happen. But I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to ask any questions about draft or anything you'd like to. We'd love to give you tips and tricks on how to improve in Magic, in Commander, and Standard, in different formats. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and as always, we'll see you next time.